Hello and welcome. I'm Karina Ladet, and today I have the immense pleasure to finally meet Kari Samuels. Welcome, Kari.
Hi! Our names are so similar.
Yeah, that's true. So
We
if
both have a
you,
Kari.
yeah, so if you haven't come across Kari Samuels' amazing website and all the information she shares a lot on Facebook, then you really should check her out. She's so bubbly and positive and really intuitive and wise. And I love watching her astrology and numerology forecasts that she
Yeah,
does every month. Those are a lot of fun. And so when
thank you.
I know that you're an intuitive counselor and a happiness coach. That sounds
Yeah,
really wonderful. I love the happiness coach. I never heard
yeah.
that before. So what
Yeah,
is it that
it
you
kind of
do?
just dawned on me.
Yeah. So would you like to tell us a little bit about what you do or some of the things you do?
Yeah, it's almost hard to, and part of the reason I put in that happiness coach part, it was hard for me to describe everything I do. I think a lot of intuitives run up against that because sometimes when we describe the kind of work we do, people kind of glaze over.
Yeah, they go.
So then you're like, let me just do that behind the scenes. Here's what you need to know. I help you get happy.
Yeah.
But what I do is I communicate with people. Spirit guides are those helpers who are helping us on the other side. And our spirit guides communicate to us through our intuition. And we sometimes have trouble listening to our own intuition. And a lot of times we're also not trained to listen to our intuition yet, growing up, a lot of us. I mean, some of us are, but so I'm an interpreter. And so the kinds of guides that I communicate with are soul level guides. So the kinds of guides that helped you plan your life before you were born, your lessons, the gifts that you want to express, uh, based on your past lives and karma and what you want to create in the future. So those are the kinds of energies I tap into. And so I help people align themselves with their soul's purpose and clear any of those subconscious patterns that they've brought in from childhood or even past lives so that you can really move through that and become happy.
Yay.
Thus all my titles.
That's all we really want, though, in the end, isn't it? Like that's kind of
Yeah.
what it comes down to. Every person comes with a different problem or a different challenge, but in the end, we just want to be happy and enjoy our lives.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I stopped trying to describe the whole soul stuff and I'm just like, okay, I help people become happy. That's all you need to know. And I do it intuitively.
That's awesome. And so, how did you discover this, like your gift? Was it something that you always knew that you could do,
No,
or?
no, not at all. And that's just the thing. And that's part of why I'm really passionate about teaching people how to reconnect with their intuition. I didn't know that I was psychic in any way growing up. I'm not one of those people that are like, oh yeah, and I saw my angels and it scared me, or like my dead relatives used to come. I just didn't have that, but I did always have deep thoughts about about past lives and reincarnation and the universe and probable futures and karma and that kind of stuff. This was stuff I was always thinking about. But what I realize now is I was communicating with my spirit guides, but since we communicate telepathically a lot, I didn't realize, it's not like I saw them standing there. so so I was always doing that, but I didn't realize I was psychic or intuitive in any way until I was about 28 years old during what's called a Saturn return in astrology. That's when you get on your path, or your path kicks you into it.
Yeah.
and um, and I started getting messages for people, and I didn't like it. It really scared me. I was afraid of opening myself up to spiritual energy because I'd had some scary experiences. And I thought, I'm not opening myself up. I don't know what's going to come in. But what I realize now, and soon thereafter, is it's kind of like germs. There's a lot of viruses and bacteria out there in the world, and you can be afraid of them, or you can just say, okay, well, those germs are here, and I'm just going to wash my hands to protect myself. So if you actually know if you actually are consciously managing your energy, it's actually more favorable than just pretending that stuff isn't going on.
Yeah. I
So,
love how you describe that. Yeah, like washing your hands.
yeah, it's just like germs are there. You can be freaked out that, oh my gosh, I never want to have a germ. But if you know how they operate, so there are kind of, I would say, negative energies in the universe, and some have a consciousness. But the more positive you are and the more protection that you always use protection, Karina, the more protection, psychic protection that you have,
Yeah.
the more that your life can be very blissful, because you have friends in high places, so you might as well use them, right? So you have gatekeepers, you have spirit guides, you have angels, you have all these beings that want to help you, want to protect you, want to guide you. And all you need to do is ask them and say your prayers and ask them and consciously connect, and you have that. So there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of when you open up these spiritual doors, if you do this consciously and deliberately with pure intent.
Ah, that's beautiful. I love how you describe that. Yeah, and it's true. Yeah, and it's also
Yeah.
what we focus on, isn't it? Because if we focus on, oh gosh, I don't want to connect with anything scary all the time, then that's what we attract. And if we kind of stay like yeah, with a clear intention of what we want to connect with and where we want to direct our energy, that's when it.
I have this kind of thing too, because I think it's like my mission now to help sensitive people, because I think a lot of really sensitive people, even when they start to learn about spiritual stuff at first, what happens is they do like the shields and the surrounding yourself, and that's a little bit paranoid too sometimes. Because what happens is people wind up putting themselves in these bubbles and then feel isolated, and then not know why they're not manifesting more, why they're not in the flow more, because it's like you're so busy protecting yourself from everybody's negativity that you're not like extending yourself in the world and living. Right? So my new mission, in addition to helping people reclaim their intuition, is to really help sensitive people be bold and express themselves, because I'm a natural introvert. I think most psychic people are.
Yeah.
Is it really that natural to go put yourself on the YouTube? I don't think so.
I guess not. And we'll just sit here with our deep thoughts and like.
Yeah, I would love to sit there with my deep thoughts, but I want to help people. And some of these things that I do, it's more like my guides are like, this is what your next step is. It's not like I'm like, yeah, but I'm always glad when I do.
Yeah.
Because it's good to step out of that comfort zone, and it's good to step out and connect with more people. But I think a lot of that shielding and protecting, and that really keeps people from doing that. So I think there's a new paradigm for sensitive people.
Yeah, that's interesting, and I have a feeling that you hear more about people being sensitive, and then it's like a different, like there are so many sensitive people out there, and that's
it's not like a minority even anymore. There's like but we don't know because we're all hiding. Exactly. You just notice the extroverts.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny because sometimes people ask me, so how do you do it when you have to put yourself out there and like create videos or like write blog posts? And I find it really difficult, and I'm an introvert, and I'm like, I don't find it super natural to talk about really super personal. Being a Scorpio, I don't really like talking about my personal stuff. But if I don't do that, I can't share what I have to share, and then I can't connect.
I love how you use the word supernatural, because it's supernatural.
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, it isn't, but it's always great. And each time I do something like that, I'm so grateful that I did. And it's all about breaking those barriers, and that it just creates so much more flow in your life.
That's true, and it's interesting because it feels like this year we're all being asked to step up and to do the stuff that was really scary that we've been thinking about for a long time, and we've been sort of taking steps, but now it's like, okay, now you really have to stand in your own light and really shine it, not just go, I'm just going to shine a little bit here. What you said about in the last forecast about the sun going, no, I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want to shine too brightly. I'll just Shine a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, as if the sun would say, I don't want to be too flashy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, as if. Where would we be?
Yeah, that's true. And so, as you probably know, one of the main questions I asked during this interview series is, how do you connect to spirit? Now, you probably have maybe several ways you do that, but is there like one way or two ways that you would like to share on how you do it when you connect?
Yeah, the most simple way, and it's funny because when I discovered that what I was always feeling was intuition, it kind of blew my mind because I was always experiencing intuition and I didn't realize it. So I just kept rejecting it as if I was like being judgmental or imagining things or whatever. And so the one thing I really want to emphasize about intuition is that it's very simple and it's very natural. So usually in classes when I see people straining or trying to visualize I have so many students who are so intuitive and they're always saying, I just don't see it or I just don't feel it, because it's like if you're waiting for the bells and whistles, and if you're waiting for that, the spirit guide, the Native American spirit guide to appear in front of you, you're missing an opportunity to access this very natural ability. So the one thing I really want to emphasize is just how easy this is. So don't expect anything crazy. It's natural.
Yeah.
They call it a sixth sense because it's like, how do I see, or how do I hear, or it's a sense. You don't have to try to feel or hear. It's a sense. It's a sixth sense, and so basically your sixth sense operates through your five senses. So some people will see things more, like you'll get just a vision, and it doesn't need to be like moving pictures. Sometimes it's like a picture that comes in your head over and over and over again, but won't leave. But the really most important thing, I think, for people to access their intuition is to get back in their bodies. Because most people are thinking, and what happens is, like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And what's happening is your intuition is moving through your chakras, your seventh chakra, your 12 chakras, but they're running down your body, down, up and down. Your energy field through your chakras, up and down your spine. And if you're just like in that cerebral part of your brain, you're missing the boat. So it's really important to get down into your body, to root yourself in Mother Earth every day and really feel your body. And when you get in your body can start giving you answers. So what I always love to teach people, it's the simplest tool in the world, and I literally use it every day, is I get in my body and I ground myself and I start asking yes or no questions. Like I would say, my name is Kari, and see how my body responds to a yes, a truth. And I would say, I'm a woman, and see how my body responds to that. And then I would say, I'm a man, and my body would be like, I don't think so. So it would feel different. And so it's just getting in your body and monitoring how different it feels from truth and non-truth. And then you can start asking your intuition through your body yes or no questions, but not like should I questions, because that's like, should I don't know, your spirit guides don't respond to that, but something like, is it in my highest and best to take this job opportunity? And you ask your body, and guaranteed, if it's not right for you, no matter how great you think it is, your body will be like, if it's not right for you. You get like a closing or constricting, or something doesn't feel right. So I would just keep encouraging people to get back in their body, get in their heart chakra, that kind of thing. It's the simplest thing in the world, and it feels like you've got to be making this up. And you'll wonder why you didn't learn this in nursery school. But that's the most important thing, and it's so effective, and it works every time.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, because that's true, that we're always like thinking and thinking and thinking, and that's also a way of controlling, I guess, because we have this one idea, and it has like, there are one or two possible solutions, and when you go down into your body and you open up, there are actually lots of solutions, and maybe something you haven't even thought of, right? So the body's
well, I think people usually think of it, but then they reject it. It's like your intuition will say this path, and then your mind will say, oh no,
Don't do that.
That's scary. Let me ask again. And then You'll ask 5 people and they'll say different things and you'll get scrambled. And then your intuition says this path and you're like, no. And that's what it's like, this thing because so if you just actually listen to it, you'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's not that we don't have a good intuition or that we don't have answers. It's like we don't stop to really listen. But like
We judge it.
listen
We
and
say no,
I'm
that
open to
can't
any
be.
answer. Not just
Yeah, that's
I'm open but just a little bit.
yeah, that's the scarier choice, or that one's gonna rock my world, or other people won't believe in me, or whatever it is. You know, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Oh, that's great. And it is true that it's simple. It doesn't have
So
to be
simple.
complicated, but then you have to do it, and you have to keep doing it. And I guess that's maybe the challenge is actually doing it.
It's
Taking
changing your
time.
trust to say like, okay, well, I trust this is right. I trust my inner wisdom. And then once you learn to trust it, it's just always, then you always trust it.
Yeah,
Because you see how infallible it is.
yeah, that's true. And it's like this second voice that just gives you new opportunities and new answers, and sometimes it's not because I feel also that with the mind, it's like these kind of difficult, hardworking sort of answers, and with our hearts or our souls, it's more like do what gives you joy or do what makes you happy, and it's like, oh, can it be like different? And that is really life changing. I know that when I started shifting from having to struggle and I can do this because I'm really strong to okay, this feels easy and this feels joyful and this
Yeah.
feels like it's coming naturally. It just feels like so much of the work I used to do it's just so much easier to do, and it
Oh yeah.
opens up
I mean,
so much more.
I used to prepare for a month for a client. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, it's coming up. And now it's like I'll walk in, I'll know anything. My guides will handle anything, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't do fortune telling
No.
because I don't. Some people have those guides, but that's not. But what they always do, it's interesting. If someone asks about their future, my guides or their guides will answer them in what's in alignment with their soul's purpose. Not what is going to happen, but what a good path to take.
Yeah.
So I love how they work. They're always like, you've got to do this. You know, if we knew our future, it would, what's the point?
Yeah, and I think it's really difficult to live in the present moment if you know for sure certain things, right? Because I know some of the things where I've been like, oh, I want to know. And honestly, I'm really happy I didn't because I felt so much happier getting to that step when I was ready. Because
Yeah,
sometimes we need to go to other steps before,
we
and
have
then
to.
that step just feels natural. But if someone tells you 3 years before, you're just gonna freak out, and it feels so big, right? So it's yeah, no, I don't think we're supposed to either. I know my guys like saying, okay, if you want to go in this direction, then this is what you need to work on. So it's always kind of coming back to the present moment
Exactly.
anyway. Like this is what you can
Exactly.
do now. Just don't just wait for something to happen later. Just this is what you can
Exactly.
do now to get you to where you want to go. Because we can do a lot, right?
Exactly. I'm with you, sister.
Great. Okay, well, I think we could probably continue chatting for like all night, but it was really lovely having you, Kari, and I'll put a link to your website at the bottom of this video, so anyone who's interested in your beautiful work, and also they can check you out on YouTube, the astrology
Yeah,
numerology forecast,
YouTube.
and you're super active on Facebook too. Like you post almost every day about the
No, I
numbers.
post every day. I post every day. And I do it live. It's not like I pre-program them. Every night I ask my guides what the energy for the next day is going to be. Well, I do it based on numerology and astrology, but really I get the messages from my guides. The hardest part is always finding a picture to match, but that's fun because you get to look through a lot of art.
Yeah.
And it's always really accurate. So every day I post a forecast.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah, I love those. They're so great because sometimes
Thank
they
you.
usually match really well, and I go, Oh, that's good then. It's in the forecast. I can breathe now.
Yeah, it's happening to everybody.
I think so. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with
Thank
me
you
and
so much.
have a beautiful day.
You too.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye.